believed that they were seated each colony to a table, geographically, from north to south, beginning with New Hampshire in that corner, ending in Georgia in that corner. And they have a war in their hands, because fighting had broken out in Massachusetts between New England militia and British regular troops on April 19th of 1775. A war that quickly spreads to all 13 colonies, and a war about our rights as British subjects. At this point, there's only a handful of delegates in the room whispering the I word. But that changes significantly in January of 1776 with the publication of a pamphlet called Common Sense, written by Thomas Paine, who pointed out such things as Americans can and should be able to govern themselves. Common Sense changes American opinion so much that on June 7th, it is a very confident Richard Henry Lee of Virginia who stands to present the following resolution. Be it resolved that these United Colonies are, and are brought up to be, free and independent states, that all allegiance to the British crown is and are brought up to be, generally resolved. With those words, contractions begin. But there are men in the room who are not ready for this, so a couple of things will happen. First, it's agreed that any vote for independence should be unanimous. And that makes sense. If you are 13 little colonies fighting the greatest military power on earth, you better be in it together. The moderates will stall the vote for 3 weeks. As a concession, they will allow a Declaration of Independence to be written, just in case they need one. 3 weeks come and go, and the big day is July 4th. Trick question, July 2nd. The debates begin on the 1st. Right away, there are 3 states opposing independence. They continue into the next day, and they are dominated by John Adams of Massachusetts. On the afternoon of July the 2nd, independence is voted for in this room. Well, you might be thinking, what about the 4th? That all had to do with that declaration. The members here will spend more than 2 days making more than 70 changes to Thomas Jefferson's original text. Some of the changes are minor. There were men who objected to calling the king a tyrant. Some have serious consequences. An entire paragraph condemning the Atlantic slave trade is removed. But on July the 4th, everybody in the room agrees to what it is they will tell the world, why they are doing what they are doing, by adopting the Declaration of Independence. Then there was no CNN to cover events live. Americans tended to believe what they read. That is how we come to celebrate it on this day. They will have a legal copy of this declaration, one that the members will sign. The signing takes place in this room on August 2nd of 1776. Now, it's one thing to declare independence, and it's something else again to achieve it. That takes 7 more years of war. Not only are they running a war, they are creating a central government. And what they had come up with was the Articles of Confederation, a firm league of friendship between 13 American states, which works about as long as we have a British military threat. When the war is over in 1783, these states turn against each other. Things get very bad very quickly. So much there's a call for a convention to meet here in Philadelphia, beginning in May of 1787, to to fix the Articles. That convention takes place in this room. It is presided over by George Washington, who sat at the head of the room in a chair quite similar to that one. We do have the original, it's currently being refurbished. Now the delegates know that they cannot fix the Articles, that they will need to create a new form of government. Because they are exceeding their instructions, they will meet in secret, with the doors and windows closed. But on September 17, 1787, prepared for signing at the front of the room, is the Constitution of the United States. It is a rather unique form of government. The preamble begins, "We the people of the United States." But in 1787, what people were they talking about? That's part of it. White men over the age of 21 and, in most cases, property owners. This Constitution did nothing to stop the new nation from destroying other nations in a greed for land. It did nothing to end it. As a matter of fact, it protected chattel slavery. It did nothing for the rights of women. Still, the men in the room had created America, because into this they had put a mechanism for change. And that would allow this Constitution to come alive and to grow as we grew and matured, both as a nation and a people. It could change as our attitudes changed about such things as slavery and the rights of women. Today it is over 224 years old. It is every bit as valid. It has been copied by governments around the world. Benjamin Franklin was a delegate to that convention. He was the oldest man in the room at age 81. And at the end of the convention, he made this remark. Said, during the course of these debates, I had often looked at the sun on the back of the president's chair, trying to determine if it was a rising or a setting sun. At last, at length, I had the happiness to know that indeed it is a rising and not a setting sun. I do not believe that Dr. Franklin was talking about a piece of furniture. I believe that he was talking about the dawning of a new nation within this room, a nation conceived in liberty, dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal, although it does take us some time to get there. And while I'm quoting Abraham Lincoln, our 16th president, I would like to point out that in this room, in April of 1865, Lincoln's body had lying in state. It had stopped here as it was making that final journey to Illinois.